They take you to all these places. So you can get off anywhere, and get on and get off anywhere. So so if you're doing the San Francisco city tour, let me just quickly tell you something. So there's one place called Little Italy, which is like the Italian hub over there, and it has one of the world's most crooked roads. So that road is like so crooked that it's really nice to watch. And if you're on this San Francisco city tour, they show you a lot of interesting things where all these musicians and film actors and actresses used to live. And then there's buildings that show you a lot of curious artifacts. There's one building I remember which shows you all the different types of sewing machines displayed in a window in a really tall building. It's really nice. And then it stops at Gilroy Square, which is like where they make all these famous chocolates. And then there's the Palace of Fine Arts, then the Golden Gate Bridge, Golden Gate Park. There's the City Hall. There's museums on the way. There's Fisherman's Wharf is where there's like there's like boat rides to Alcatraz Island. So Alcatraz Island is just like about, I don't know, like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes from the Fisherman's Wharf. So you take the boat, and when you go there, you'll see, it used to be a prison before, but now they have, they're converting it into a nice place to visit, something like that. And then there's a cruise, and you just go there in the boat and just see the place and come back. You do all this stuff. And then there's all these really interesting things that you can watch on the city tour. It's one of the best ways to see San Francisco. But remember, the city tour, I think it ends at around like 5 o'clock. So you better take the tour like at 10 o'clock in the morning. So you need a whole day to do this. And in the evening, it gets really windy and cold, even in the summers sometimes. So you better carry a sweater with you. So Muir Woods. So it's got these really nice giant trees and woods, and it's very close to the Golden Gate Park. It's like a small version of the Yosemite National Park. So you just drive in there, enjoy your scenery, and relax, and that kind. So it protects about 554 acres, of which 240 acres are old-growth coast redwood sequoia trees. Of a few such stands remaining in the San Francisco Bay Area. Muir Woods National Monument is an old-growth coastal redwood forest. The main attraction of Muir Woods are the coast redwood trees. They are known for their height and are related to the giant sequoia of the Sierra Nevada. The tallest tree in the Muir Woods is 258 feet. Most of the redwoods in the monument are between 500 and 800 years old. The oldest is at least 1200 years old. So it's a really nice place to visit it. Napa Valley. So Napa Valley is about 1.5 hours from San Jose. It's a nice drive, and then when you go there, it's actually quite close by. It's not very far away. And from San Francisco, it's probably less than an hour away. So Napa Valley's got all these really nice vineyards and grapes growing, and wineries where they crush the grapes and make wine. And so Napa Valley is famous for its mountains and the scenery and all these wineries and the wine tasting tours. It's a really nice place to visit, and a lot of retired people, they prefer to buy houses like in Napa Valley and just retire and live there quietly. So in fact, we had some people in our company in the San Jose Bay area. There was this lady who was almost like in her 60s, and their house was in Napa Valley, so she would come to work 4 days a week and stay in a hotel, and then work from home on Fridays. But then after I visited Napa Valley, I realized why she wanted to live there. It's like so beautiful and nice, and it's not as expensive as the San Jose Bay area. So Napa County is a county located north of San Pablo Bay in the northern portion of the U.S. state of California. Napa County is famous for its vineyards and wineries. Many wineries such as Artesa, Altamira, Antica, Brookdale, and William Hill vineyards. A lot of vineyards. The county has a total area of about 789 square miles, of which 748 square miles of land and 40 square miles is water. Napa County is home to a variety of flora and fauna, including numerous rare and endangered species such as Tiburon Indian paintbrush and Contra Costa goldfields. So there's a lot of interesting things to see in Napa Valley. So there's the train tours. Don't miss the wine train in Napa Valley. So the vintage train rides through amazing scenery in Napa Valley. So these vintage trains, which are really cool, nice, they drive you around like from San Francisco to Napa Valley. It's almost like more than a 3-hour train ride. And you get a really nice 3-course meal, and you get to taste different types of wine and champagne. And So this is like the interior of the train, and you get amazing scenery. It's really romantic and really nice. A lot of people go there for Valentine's Day. And if you watch The Big Bang Theory, the comedy show, you'll see that Sheldon and his girlfriend on the show, they went to Napa Valley for, I think it was Valentine's Day, and that was the first time they kissed on the train. So it was like, it's a really nice romantic place, a really nice, enjoyable place to visit. Napa Valley Train tours. The train rides last about 3 hours and cost between $100 to $300 per person. They offer gourmet meals with sparkling wine, champagne, etc. The scenic, relaxing Napa Valley wine tasting experience takes you from San Francisco to downtown Napa to ride the historic Napa Valley wine train. Traveling through wine country in a restored antique train, enjoy views of the, rolling hills and lush vineyards of St. Helena, Oakville, Rutherford, and Yountville as you enjoy a gourmet meal. So it's really nice. Hop off the train at the winery of your choice. So there's like so many wineries, okay, within like a few kilometers of each other. So Artesa is one that I've been to, and they show you actually the the barrels, the caskets, and all these machines where they crush the grapes and how they make the wine, the stages of it, and how they store it in the cellar, how they bottle it, how they sell it, and they let you taste the wine. It's really nice. So you can have wine tasting, choose from different itineraries. You can choose the places that interest you. It's really nice. So this is the Napa Valley hot air balloon ride. So these are some of the really cool hot air balloons. I took my mother in one of these and she loved them. So it's like, this balloon is here at the bottom, and then they use this hot air blowing machine. They inflate the balloon, and then it inflates, and there's this basket. You have to climb into it and like jump into it, and you're standing, and then they release the balloon and it floats up, and they maneuver it and they make it land. It's really nice, except at some point it got a little hot because we were close to the flame that was pumping up the helium gas, which was like making the balloon stay afloat. There's like a fire going on sometimes in the middle of this basket, so if you stay close to that it gets a little hot. But the ride was like, it's not the thrilling kind of ride. It's a peaceful, scenic ride. So you go there, and then it's just floating around, and you see all these beautiful trees and scenery and lakes and all these things at the bottom, and then for more than an hour. It usually happens at like sunrise. So you probably have to leave home at about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. You reach there by like sunrise, and then you watch and you go on the balloon ride, and then you can go back home by about like 8 o'clock if you live in the Bay Area. So you have to book these hot air balloon rides in advance, and it's really nice. And then at least my mom and I, we really enjoyed it. And hot air ballooning is the activity of flying hot air balloons. Attractive aspects include the exceptional quiet, except when the propane burners are firing. And the bird's eye view, and it's not like going in a fast moving plane. It's like you're sailing smoothly around there, and it's like really nice. So that's about the hot air balloon rides. It happens in Napa Valley, Sonoma, all these places. And in Arizona they have it too, in the Sedona Desert. So talking about hot air balloon rides, so in the Bay Area you can also take like flying lessons. So there's like small planes, 4-seater, 6-seater, 2-seaters. So you'll have a licensed pilot with you, and they teach you how to learn to fly. So you're there, and then they have 2 sets of controls. So you can maneuver the plane on the ground, and then you do the takeoff, you maneuver, and you do the nosedives, do all the spins and everything. But the landing, you take your hands off and the pilot lands it. And then after you take about 20 hours of lessons with the pilot, you're probably eligible to fly solo. So in about 40 hours you could probably get like a commercial pilot's license. So I took a couple of flying lessons, and my friends did too, and it was really enjoyable. So we flew the plane, and it cost me about approximately $150 for one session. And you can use these coupons on Groupon. So you can use them at various restaurants and for various of these attractions. So flying lessons were really nice, and for Mother's Day one year, I flew my mother in a plane, so I flew the planes. It was really nice. My mom enjoyed it too. And then the next interesting thing to see is, close to Napa Valley is Calistoga. So it's just like about half an hour from Napa Valley, further north. So in Calistoga you will see the Old Faithful geyser. It's a hot water geyser. So so it's like this geyser, a man was trying to dig for water or something, and he stumbled upon this dead geyser many years ago. So it keeps spurting up and down hot water. So every few minutes, like say every half an hour for a few minutes, it keeps spurting up and down. It's really nice and very interesting to watch. And this Old Faithful geyser is used as a seismic predictor. So if it is spurting at regular intervals, like say in summer it might spurt at more regular intervals, and winter it might spurt at, you know, every couple of hours or something like that. So depending on, they keep monitoring the frequency based on the seasons, okay? They have a whole system set up there. And if this geyser is, you know, spurting at regular intervals, it means everything is fine. But if it's not regular, then it's an indicator of an earthquake that is probably going to come. So it's used as a seismic indicator. So in this Old Faithful geyser, it's a nice place, you know. So it's just like after you finish Napa Valley and the wineries and the tours of Napa Valley, then you drive up further north half an hour, you will find the Old Faithful geyser. And there's a lot of, there's a nice farm kind of thing with a lot of interesting animals. There's goats and mountain goats and llamas and sheep and a lot of interesting animals out there. You can feed them, and you know, it's kind of a really nice place. The next place to visit is the Half Moon Bay. So the Half Moon Bay is located between San Francisco and San Jose. It's somewhere close to like Redwood City. So it's the part of the ocean which looks like a half moon. So the bay is really nice, but it gets kind of cold in the evenings. And it's about like say half an hour, 45 minutes drive from San Jose. And a lot of people, you know, buy houses in Half Moon Bay because it's probably less expensive than like the San Jose proper area. And it's close to the beach, and it's really nice. It's quaint, it's nice. It can get a little windy, but it's really beautiful. And it's a popular tourist destination. So the Half Moon Bay is a bay of the Pacific Ocean on the coast of San Mateo County, California. The bay is approximately semicircular, and so it's called, you know, the Half Moon Bay. So if you're in the San Jose Bay Area and you want to go to a beach, your best bet is to go to the Half Moon Bay. So if you're living in San Francisco, it'll probably take you half an hour to get there, and even from San Jose, probably like half an hour to 45 minutes. So coastal towns located there are Princeton by the Sea, Miramar, El Granada, and the city of Half Moon Bay. The surfing location Mavericks is located on the outer edge of the peninsula, which forms the bay. Miramar Beach is located along the shore of the bay opposite the peninsula. Marine species include flatfish, the commercially important English sole, rockfish, surf perch, Pacific herring, lingcod, and abundant winter species, including starry flounder and topsmell. The bay provides an example of a logarithmic spiral beach. Well, all you need to know is it's a really nice place to go play with the waves in the ocean, to relax and listen to the waves. And you know, there was one time I took flying lessons and we flew over the Half Moon Bay, and it was really nice. So the next place, this is a really cool place. I love this place. It's called the 17-mile drive. So it's about 1.5 to 2 hours drive from San Jose down south, and it's like a place that has a road. It's kind of a loop, like a 17-mile loop, and it's got roads that go inside, you know, in different directions. You can take different paths inside, and it's got beautiful scenery all over, and there's the Pacific Ocean very close, and so it's like, you know, if you come down from San Jose all the way to Monterey, you come here, and then there's an entrance over here. So there's entrances at different points. So Monterey is over here, Carmel is over here, and this is Carmel. So you can enter over here, and you drive all the way over here, and there's spots along the way. You stop at different places. Each spot is famous in its own way. So one spot has got like the lone tree, one spot has got the huge waves, one spot has got the birds, and others got you know, some other kind of trees, you know, some kind of landmarks. Some's got nice houses, and you know, it's a beautiful place. So you come all the way here, and then you come back here. It's like a 17-mile drive. So it's a scenic road through Pebble Beach and Pacific Grove in the Monterey Peninsula of California. Hugs the Pacific coastline and passes famous golf courses, mansions, and scenic attractions, including the Lone Cypress. The Lone Cypress is a spot where there's a lone tree, the Bird Rock, and the 5,300-acre Delmont forest of Monterey cypress trees. So it's a really nice place. So this is the place, one of the spots. You know, you can get off there, park your car, and take a view and take pictures and all this stuff. So there's also like multiple other spots along the 17-mile drive. So, you know, I just have a few pictures here, but there's spots all along the way, and it's a really beautiful place to visit. It's something you can do over, like, you know, a Saturday afternoon or something. But you probably need like at least, you know, you drive down from San Jose about 2 hours, and you spend at least about 2-3 hours over there, and then drive back 2 hours, so you'll need probably like a whole day. So there's Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is, again, 2 hours south of San Jose, approximately, 1.5 to 2 hours. And in Santa Cruz, we have a nice beach, and there's like, you know, parasailing and probably paragliding, and then there's like horse riding. There's all these adventure activities. Santa Cruz is a nice, beautiful place. So, situated on the northern edge of Monterey Bay, around 32 miles south of San Jose and 70 miles south of San Francisco. So, it's really probably not an hour and a half. It's probably just about, at the most, 45 minutes to 1 hour south of San Jose. So, Santa Cruz is known for water sports, sailing, diving, swimming, stand-up paddleboarding, paddling, regarded as one of the best spots in the world for surfing. It's the home of O'Neill wetsuits and Santa Cruz surfboards, as well as Santa Cruz skateboards and Santa Cruz bicycles. The Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is California's oldest amusement park and a designated state historic landmark. It is family-operated and celebrated its centennial in 2007. It is home to the iconic Giant Dipper roller coaster, which is currently the 5th oldest coaster in the United States. Santa Cruz is a nice place to visit, like, you know, it's one-day activity. Yosemite National Park. Scenic National Park in the eastern part of California. Merced River offers camping site at the base, whitewater rafting, horse riding, hiking trails, etc. So this is the Merced River that flows through the Yosemite National Park. So Yosemite is about 3.5 to 4 hours north of San Jose Bay Area. So if you're driving from San Jose, you'll pass through Livermore and then go to Yosemite, about 3.5 to 4 hours. And from San Francisco, it also takes about, you know, 3.5 to 4 hours by car. And you go there, and, you know, it's like a gated place. Like, you have to like buy an entry ticket, I guess, and you enter there, and it's like driving in the hills, the mountains, the winding roads. You drive there, and then the river, you can carry a tent with you and camp over there. And there's also hotels inside the national park. It's a really huge national park, really, really big. Some hotels are just outside the gates, and some are inside the premises. And then there's cabins, log cabins. There's all kinds of really nice things. And they have whitewater rafting along the river. It's just like probably a 1 hour activity. It's really nice. And then there's horse riding, and there's you know, tours that happen like almost every day. So the park is managed by the National Park Service, covers an area of 1.1 million square miles, really big, and across the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. About 3.8 million people visit Yosemite each year. Most spend the majority of their time in the 7 square miles of Yosemite Valley. So designated a World Heritage Site in 1984, Yosemite is internationally recognized for its granite cliffs, waterfalls, clear streams, dense sequoia groves, lakes, mountains, glaciers, and biological diversity. About 95% of the park is designated wilderness. So this is the Half Dome in Yosemite. It's a huge rock. So basically there's 3 types of tours in Yosemite. So there's one called the sequoia trees, you know, the forest tour. So it takes you only through the sequoia forest with all those huge sequoia trees. And it's like a tram drives there and brings you back. So it's probably a 1 or 2 hour tour. And there's another tour that takes you through the waterfalls and, you know, all the way up to the Half Dome. It is at an elevation of almost, like, I guess, more than 5,000 feet. So in winters in California, you get snow at Yosemite on the top in the mountains. And people like it, who like snow, they go there. So there's the Half Dome, there's like Bridal Veil waterfalls, there's all these really nice places that you see. There's waterfalls here and there, and there's hiking trails for adventurous people, and there's camping sites. There's all kinds of really nice things. and it's really calm and nice. And they got some really nice 5-star hotels inside. They also got less expensive hotels inside too. And then they've got all these amazing things. So there's when I took my family members, we went on the Grand Tour. It's like a 1-day tour. So I booked it in advance, and leaves at, like, what we did was drove up there on Saturday, spent some time on our own on Saturday, and stayed in a hotel that night. And the next morning at 8 o'clock we started the Grand Tour. So we went and visited all these parts. The bus takes you to the Half Dome and the Bridal Veil Falls and so many other falls, and then shows you all the attractions. And then after that we went to a part of the Grand Tour is also the Sequoia Forest Tour. So we went and saw the sequoia trees, the huge, beautiful trees. Each tree's got, history, a name, a character. It's like really nice. And then there's also some other things they showed us. So there were 3 different tours combined in one. That's called the Grand Tour. So finally we saw everything. By 5 o'clock we were done, and then we drove back like Sunday night, and we were back, and I could go back to work on Monday. So Yosemite, you can probably see the... So in the Yosemite National Park, there's the Half Dome, which is like this huge semicircular rock at a highly elevated location. So there's something called the Grand Tour in the Yosemite National Park. So when I took my family members, what we did was we drove up, like if you're driving from San Jose to San Francisco, it takes about 4 hours to drive, 3.5 to 4 hours to drive to Yosemite National Park. There are a lot of really good hotels, both just outside the park and also inside the park. And once you're there, we took something called like the Grand Tour. So we went on a Saturday, drove up there and spent some time by ourselves in the evening, and spent the night in the hotel. And on Sunday at like 8 o'clock, the Grand Tour started. So the Grand Tour is like, it's a whole day tour till 5 o'clock. It combines 3 tours. So first they take you all around to the waterfalls and the Grand Dome at the top, and then the gallery, and then the lake, and they show you all these interesting spots in Yosemite. And then after that they take you to the Grand Sequoia Trees Tour. So take you to the Sequoia Forest, and there's all these huge trees, and each tree has a history, and it's like each tree has unique characteristics. There's one tree called the clothespin tree, another tree called the grandfather tree. It's like they're like different trees, each with a unique characteristic. And then after that, there's another tour which shows you some more parts of the Yosemite National Park. So we took the Grand Tour. It was really nice. And then by 5 o'clock we were done. And then we drove for about 3 to 4 hours, and we were back by Sunday night in San Jose. So it's like a weekend activity. But if you want to see the whole of Yosemite National Park, you'd probably need at least a week's time to explore all the beauty and go hiking and rafting in the lake, and whitewater rafting in the river. And then camping. You want to really experience it, it takes like a whole week. So these are some of the waterfalls in Yosemite: the Bridal Veil Falls, Yosemite Falls, Ribbon Falls. There's many waterfalls, really nice. And then this is the Merced River that runs through Yosemite National Park, and you can camp on the sides, to carry your own tent. There's also log cabins. It's like really nice. So next we talk about Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is kind of close to Yosemite, just a few miles from there, and probably an hour from there, I guess. So it's one of the biggest lakes. After the 5 Great Lakes in America, it's the 6th biggest lake, and then it's pretty deep. But then most people go there for winter skiing, snowboarding, winter activities, and in summer the lake is placid. Lake Tahoe is a large freshwater lake in Sierra Nevada at a surface elevation of 6,225 feet. So it's at a really high elevation. It straddles the border between California and Nevada west of Carson City. Lake Tahoe is the largest alpine lake in the world, in North America. Largest alpine lake in North America. Its depth is 1,645 feet, making it the 2nd deepest in the US after Crater Lake, which is 1,945 feet. Lake Tahoe is the 6th largest lake by volume in the US at 122 million acre feet behind the 5 Great Lakes. So the lake was formed about 2 million years ago, part of the Lake Tahoe Basin, with modern lake being shaped during the ice ages. It is known for the clarity of its water and the panorama of surrounding mountains on all sides. Skiing by Lake Tahoe. A lot of people, they buy this winter like season pass, and those who enjoy skiing and snowboarding, they just love Tahoe. They drive there like almost every weekend during the winters. If you want to see snow in California, you'd probably go to Lake Tahoe in the northern part of California, and in southern part of California, you'd go to like the Big Bear Mountains, because California doesn't get snow otherwise, right? So now we talk about some of the temples in the California Bay Area. So there's the Livermore Temple. It's a blend of the Chola and Kalinga styles of architecture. Lends grandeur to the temple, and it's in the Bay Area in Livermore. It's about like 45 minutes to 1 hour drive from San Jose, and the temple is really nice. It's a Shiva Vishnu temple, and it's got a huge rose garden, and it's a place for a lot of cultural activities, concerts, and all this stuff. Shiva Vishnu temple is offering religious services for the Hindu community from many years. So they have deities of various gods. There's Ganesha, Shiva, Parvati, Kartikeya, Lakshmi, and then Vishnu, Radha Krishna, Rama Sita, Navagraha, Hanuman, Kalabharava, Durga. They have all these idols. It's a really nice, beautiful temple. Actually, when we were driving to Yosemite, it's like on the way. We stopped at Livermore, looked at the temple, and then proceeded. So next is the Gilroy Hanuman Temple. So there's the Sankat Mochan Hanuman Temple in Gilroy, which is about an hour, 1.5 hours south of like San Jose. So sometimes like you have to make an appointment. It's like a gated community, and only when you get permission you're allowed to go there, especially like on Saturdays. So there's a lot of people visiting there, hundreds, thousands on Saturdays usually, weekends. So there's the idol, this is the Sankat Mochan Hanuman idol. The Hanuman is probably like 2-3 feet big. It's not a very big idol, but they say it has a lot of powers, like, people who have any kind of problems, they write their prayers on a sheet of paper and drop it there, and the problems are solved. That's the belief. And it's a nice, quaint, really beautiful temple, very, very nice. And close to that is like a place called Gilroy Garden. It's like a children's amusement park. So most people, when they go there with their families, they take their kids, and the kids, they take them to this Gilroy Gardens to play there. There's roller coasters and trains and, all these rides for the kids. And then, the kids really love this park. They play there and then usually they come back. So that's usually what families do. Shirdi Baba Temple of Milpitas. So there's a huge Shirdi Baba temple in Milpitas, which is just about 10 miles from San Jose. And this temple offers a lot of cultural activities too. They have thousands of devotees, especially on Thursdays and Sundays. You'll see hundreds and thousands of people visiting this temple. So they have a lot of yoga classes, dance classes, music classes. They have like Veda classes. They have activities for kids. They offer a lot of free courses, and they do a lot of charity. It's a nice place. And I happen to live just about like 5-minute walk from this temple. And it's really, really nice. I go there a lot. It's very calm, serene, peaceful. And when my mother visited me, it was like her all-time favorite place in the whole of America. She would go there like almost every day. It was really quiet, sit and pray. It made a lot of friends there. It was really nice. It's a very popular landmark in Milpitas, close to San Jose. So they also have various other organizations here. There's a Satya Sai organization. So sometimes I would attend the bhajans, and they had more than like 300 people in the Samiti in the center. They have the Chinmaya mission. They recently brought some premises, and the head of the organization, Swami Tejamayanda, had come to inaugurate the premises. So they have Chinmaya mission, they have Art of Living, they have Brahma Kumaris, they have Isha Foundation. You name it, they have it. Everything here in California. And a lot of interesting concerts, singers, cultural activities. A lot of things happen in the California Bay Area. Really, really vibrant. Only thing is, expansive. So there's also the Laxmi Ganapati temple of San Jose. So it's also a popular temple. Gets a lot of visitors on the weekends in southern part of San Jose. So there's a Nithyananda Vedic temple of San Jose. It's located in Milpitas. So it's next to the India Cultural Center. And the temple is here, and I visit the temple a lot. It's for the devotees of Paramahamsa Nithyananda, who also happens to be my spiritual guru. So they have a lot of interesting activities too. Activities for kids, yoga classes, and they do charity work, and it's more about like creating an enlightened society. So they get to interact with Swami Nithyananda, and then in the community they have something called Kalpataru Darshans, where you ask for a boon and it's like granted. You get to talk to Swamiji, and then there's an amazing program called Inner Awakening. It's a 3-week program. It's the most powerful spiritual program in the world, and it happens a few times every year, and miracles happen. You get to experience something really phenomenal. It's like a really amazing thing to do, and there are so many organizations, so many interesting things. Everything. All these organizations, they have a presence in the Bay Area. A lot of people, they think California is the most happening place. Once you're here, it's very hard to get out of here, regardless of how expensive it is, because you'd like it so much. So there's also this Hindu temple of Sunnyvale, and there's one in San Bruno. There is like so many temples, too many to mention in this PowerPoint. So, but this is just to give you an overview of what it's like to live in California North, and I hope you found this useful. So, as you can see, there's so much to do in California. And if you have the money, it's a really nice place to be in. But if you're a poor grad student who's here and you want to go, parasailing, you want to go to Yosemite, but then you're counting every dollar because you took a big education loan, then it's not fun. So, I've been through that stage long, long back when I was like interning in New York. And I wanted to go to Broadway shows, I wanted to do all this stuff, but then I didn't have too much money with me. So that was making me very sad. So after you start earning, if you're a student, I'm just saying, mainly this presentation was tailored to an Indian audience, but if you come to California now, there's like so much to do. It's one of the most happening places in the world, and I really enjoyed being here for the past few years. And this is all about places to visit in the northern part of California. Thank you.